The new Parkway Theater, where good food, diverse entertainment, and community create a place for everyone. For showtimes and special events, check out www.thenewparkway.com. You are listening to High Score 510, where real talk is our vernacular.
Shout out to Charles White. Come on our show, man.
You're kind of right, though, because after dealing with some of the big Hollywood
producers and directors, Weinstein, and
he's sort of right, but I thought that was only with the women.
There is definitely some weird shit that goes on in Hollywood, but I don't know.
No, it's definitely weird stuff. A lot of cocaine, a lot of parties.
Yeah, but I don't know if Dion had to jack off a white man to get to where he got.
That's not Hollywood. That's why I'm like, what is he talking about? I think Tom Brady is Deion Sanders.
Talking about Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
They played one of the most violent, militaristic sports known to man. They got respect for each other, so they commune.
And this fool's sitting here talking about,
Jesus.
Yeah, so, well, just, maybe Tom Brady played with Deion's booty hole or something.
According to Charleston White.
Well, I just froze. Come on, man. Jerry, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay. I'm checking my other stuff.
The hell are you talking about, Patron?
No, I was checking out my bank stuff and it froze.
Yeah, of course it froze. You ain't got no money in it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I would like to know why my credit score dipped by, what is this? 15%?
When they realized that you weren't Digimon Houndsu.
And it went back up to...
Aaron, your mic is not plugged in, bro.
Dude, my mic... hold on.
What the hell are you doing over there? I just see the butt end of your mic.
Some BS.
I was like, dude, it isn't picking up my voice. What's going on?
Let me see what this nigga doing. What a silly Negro.
That's funny.
What such a silly Negro. Okay.
Let's see a bit. Okay, same system. Hold on, I got to change my microphone now. All right, how do I better now, Jared? Does that sound better?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Dude, I did not notice. I was like, how can it stop picking up my voice? You know how the lights light up when you talk?
I hope it wasn't like that last week.
No, last week it was funny. I unplugged it every week.
All right, well, I ain't waiting for these other niggas because like I played earlier.
What'd you play? The Sunday? You played the round robin basketball round?
Not yet.
Try contacting them personally.
It is prime time, family time.
I hate to say it, but NBA basketball Sunday on NBC was so great. Great presentation.
You don't have to hate to say it. It had its era in time where it was like actually like it got you hyped up.
Mm-hmm.
Good games.
They had great games. They always got great games and great times for the games.
I think that's also, something we could discuss, or we discussed as, the player empowerment movement kind of ruined certain professional sports, as in like a lot of these players are making enough money, have enough, decision making and power in where they go and who they play with, that like the game and some of those rivalries that evolve from, just having to grind through, circumstances that are not always under your control or the ones that you would idealize, makes you a different type of player, makes your mentality different, thus makes you even maybe more competitive, which I think is lacking potentially in certain sports. The competition level is almost was it congenial or was it before?
You're right, Aaron. They got me.
What?
NBA,
okay. NBA, yeah.
I'm gonna say that from you. Yeah, I mean, no, that wasn't my cutting corner, but tell Jared how they got you, Pedro.
So they got my card or NBA TV on reoccurring. They got me signed up. So I did the $50 thing last year, and they snatched $108 out of my account as a reoccurring payment. And I didn't ask for this season NBA package.
Well, that's why you missing money, or that's why your credit
No.
statement is down?
No, that's why. No, they're just missing money.
How much did it cost us last year? How much did it cost us last year, Pedro?
49. Matter of fact,
no, it's under 50.
It was $49.95. All right.
Yeah, for a whole year. No, it's 30.
No,
it was 30. No. It was $30.
I got it for the holiday special. It wasn't the whole year. It was after. It was the Black Friday special.
It was the Black Friday special that happened before Black Friday.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dispute this.
I'm gonna go ahead and rock with it. I'm gonna watch it. So it's $50 more. They got me.
Y'all ready to start the show?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see where they're taking out the YouTube TV. They're supposed to take it out on the first, right?
I don't know what they're supposed to take out on the first. I know my check's supposed to be here on the first. No, so my check.
Oh no, they done got me.
I gotta watch that movie. I gotta watch.
Call KC.
Jared, when are we gonna start the movie watching? Because I'm gonna choose a couple of Tubi tracks as mine.
Well, we gotta just choose a couple of days a month to watch movies, and we gotta watch it and then just choose a day to record.
Well, see, Tubi's gonna be a lot easier because they're really short. Even if we just watch it and then talk about it on the next show, because Tubi is short, and just have a segment where we're doing like our little updates.
And then I didn't get no email from them either. So this is sus right now.
That ain't sus. That's how they do business.
Man, that's sus.
That's how they do business. No, it's suspect, but that's how they do business.
Price, fuel. I'll put $65 in a gas tank.
I'm ready, Jared. I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, I'm ready, Jared. I got to figure out. They're not charging me. They're not charging me for YouTube on anything. I can't find it. This is crazy.
I don't know why you're so upset about it.
No, because I don't want no surprise fees. Talking about, hey, give me $500. We're gonna turn your TV off. Unlike you two black people, I take care of my credit. I raise my kids.
Sound like you don't. You don't know what's going where.
I'm like, I know where my kids are. Where is Dez?
Come on. Come on. All right. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the High Score 510 podcast. You can catch us at High Score 510 on the Instagram, the YouTube, and on the Twitter at Horcrux Hipster. Also, check out our TikTok page at the High Score 510 and our Patreon page at patreon.com/High Score 510. We got a little giveaway today, or I'm going to be announcing over the next couple weeks. But I went to a comedy show, and I got a T-shirt. One of the artists at the Roy Wood Comedy Show, Sir Lance Woods, shout out sponsorship comedian that opened up for him. It's a pretty funny dude. Anyways, the T-shirt I'm giving away to one of our fans is
that Dave Stewart T-shirt.
Great for the podcast listeners.
No. That this motherfucker just leaves to go get it.
In size extra large, but this does not preclude anybody from getting it. I just want to make sure it wasn't too small for one of our winners. An emotional support shirt.
Come on, man.
All right. So if you can send us via social media or on Instagram, any of our social medias, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, you send us your best pumpkin spice haiku. We will vote on, we will read them, and by Halloween, we will decide the winner. So shout out to Sir Lance Woods on Instagram. Hilarious dude. This shirt is based off one of his jokes about him talking about white people that got service animals that keep bringing on goddamn airplanes.
So how do I take myself off to being the judge for this competition?
No, you're gonna have to read some of these pumpkin spice haikus, Aaron, because as you know, it is pumpkin spice season, my friends.
Oh God,
it is pumpkin spice. Don't worry, I don't have anything for us to try today. So, but we do have a giveaway for our fans out there. So tap in, send us your best pumpkin spice haiku, and the winner will be announced live on this show that is then released 5 days later on a Friday. But it will be announced live here, and you can find out there.
Much different definition of live.
But regardless, we will announce the winner and send it out. So aside from that, we are here with
this is AG3 coming at you faster than shit. I don't know what I'm coming fast. I'm tired. It's been a long 2 weeks. I'm tired, so I ain't moving fast at all. Maybe faster than that roach I killed in the hallway today. Life is bad, y'all.
Oh shit, the roach is getting into the apartment now.
Man, that's what happened when the dumpster don't get dumped. Man, I don't want to discuss it. It's still in the hallway. We still in the hallway now. We still good.
Sounds like you need Steve Jobs to come fix your apartment. And here's your soundbite, AG3.
He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear. Right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know? I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys! See you in 8 years!
Shout out to Bill Burr, talking shit about Aaron's favorite person.
He was right about the fruit part. That dude thought he could cure. He had the one curable pancreatic cancer. The one that's curable. That's like 90% curable, right? The one that when you hear the news from the doctor, you got pancreatic cancer, you're like sitting there saying, please say it's that one. Please say it's that one. Because if it's any of the other ones, you're not living. Mm-hmm. You just got a day. They just tell you, hey, this is how long you probably got. That's all you can ask. Where he had the one that's like 90, high 90% chance of surviving. All he had to do is a little bit of chemo. And what does this dude do? Oh, no, I'm going to be eating fruit. Just get that in your head. I'm going to eat fruit.
And he's on that Dr. Sebi diet.
He's on that idiotic diet.
Dr. Sebi know how to the alkalines and shit, bro. You get your body pH in balance.
Man, yeah, that's the problem.
All right. Well, wait, who replaced him? The one that you went on rant on?
Tim Cook, man. I went on rant on Cook, man. He lowered the prices somewhat, right? But then shit started falling apart. You know, my phone the other day couldn't get. You know, man. Oh man, we got to get through introduction. I'm just gonna say this: my phone couldn't get my shit working. Jared was trying to call. People at work trying to call. I'm trying to drop off my car at Ford. Trying to take Bart. Got to the point where I got it to finally start off in safe mode. Had to keep it in safe mode the whole day, which means no apps or nothing appear on the phone. And then I was able to reset it. But that shit would have never happened under Steve Jobs. I mean, he might be sitting around dying, watching the cells die, thinking fruit's going to cure it, thinking a pear is going to cure his, or kumquat's going to cure his cancer cell. But at least he made sure my phone was working at the highest quality. The highest quality. Apple products was at the highest quality under that man. Thank him for that.
Shout out to Tim Cook, sponsorship. Come on our show. We'd love to talk to you about the design latency in your products. All right. Anyways, and we are here with
everybody's favorite mechanic, Captain P-Funk, coming at you faster than Sean Payton wanting to leave the Denver Broncos.
Ooh, that's gonna be bad. Here's your soundbite, Pedro.
I hate our black celebrities, my nigga. I don't want nothing to do with none of. I see them and act home. I don't even speak to them, homie. I don't even speak to them. They be trying to get at me, homie. I don't even speak to them. Because I know what them niggas is. From Dion, Denzel, Tyler, Jay-Z, you gotta suck a white boy's dick to get where they at. I know that with all my heart. To get Tom Brady to come coach your son, you got to jack a white boy's dick off, son. And I'm not doing it. Dion had to do it. You cannot reach this elite level where these niggas at if you don't let these white boys play in your ass. You cannot do it, my nigga. You cannot do it. You gotta bend over. You gotta be subservient. You gotta be a doc-side nigga. You can't bark at white folks to be a Deion Sanders. You can get mad at them and say certain things, but you can't cuss them, and you better not rebuke them.
A lot of great points.
Man, see, this is the reason why. Maybe Steve Jobs didn't die fast enough. Maybe he should have got that cancer about 10 years before, and we wouldn't have no smartphones.
We would have no cell phones
because he ain't yelling at people to make smartphones, and maybe we need that because this idiot, this dude can't even pronounce a word. He make me, Pedro, and Magic Johnson sound like Brian Gumble. That's how bad he was at pronouncing words.
Shout out to Charleston White for a lot of good points.
After hearing him talk, when people get through listening to this podcast, they're gonna call you, Jared, and be like, "Hey, when did you get the Gumble brothers on there?" Damn, those dudes were eloquent compared to that first dude you played.
Aaron, you do got a Gumbo resemblance. You should be a Gumbo brother you should be the third Gumbo brother that nobody talks about.
Come on, I'm the one that can't pronounce words right, so they kind of don't talk.
You the one that, and you just like, how do you pronounce this player? Echeverria.
I'm the one with the smallest vocabulary out of the Gumbo brothers, so they kind of.
You couldn't. You tried to announce a game for the Los Angeles Angels when they had that shortstop with that name that you like to say so much.
What was his name? What was his first name? Andre Elton Simmons. Andre Elton.
Yeah. Anyways, Pedro, I know you agree with everything he just said, so we'll just leave it at that, I guess. I suppose. Yeah. You know, one of the funny things though.
Don't put words in my mouth, Jared. There's only one controversy thing and I believe in, and that's Paul Walker. We actually seen the tape and the proof. I got proof in the tape.
I got YouTube and the proof.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Charleston White, come on our show, or maybe not. I don't know. And Steve Jobs, maybe we have to rethink your place in history. You have contributed to the mass destabilization of just our society with all this internet, irregular internet.
Nope, he didn't. It started with the Bible.
Come on, Jesus. All right, and my name is Jared, aka DJarTT, with 2 T's for a double dose of that ting ting. The D is silent, so it's just Jart.
Excuse me, to all you non-liking fall people, let us be. If you don't like fall, then just don't like it. Let us be. Oh, and another thing, if you don't like pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin spice anything, let us have it. If you don't like it, you ain't gotta keep telling us that it's nasty. That means you don't like it, don't mean I don't. Oh, and another thing. Yes, I like candy corn. Yes, I do. What about it? Huh? I like it. Yes, I'm going to the cider mill. 4, 5, 6, 7, as many times I want to go. I'm going to get my cider and my donuts. If you don't like fall, we don't care. It's our time. Stop asking for the sun to come back. It ain't coming back. It's fall.
I did like that apple cider donut or whatever. What was that? No, that was a pumpkin spice donut from Colonial Donuts. Shout out to them sponsorship.
I do want to say this just so our audience know that was a black woman.
Oh yeah, that was a black woman. If you couldn't tell.
You know, I think black people like the more artificial pumpkin spice stuff, like the coffees and the drinks and the
I like a fresh handmade pumpkin pie.
Come on. No, they ain't eating no pumpkin pie now.
Come on. Let's get into some news. I don't really have any like society news. I have not been reading much.
That might be a good thing.
Feel a little bit like I'm behind.
That might be a good thing.
It's so busy. I have not had the time to listen to my normal podcast, to read my normal irregular internet articles, and get some quality news for y'all. So I apologize.
Great to me.
Y'all ain't shit. Well, in news this week, in sports news. Oh no, actually, let's get to question of the day. Question of the day. Question of the day. Who is the least intimidating player in the NBA right now? Here's the video I have to go with this. 5 NBA players nobody's scared of
NBA players that nobody is scared of. Starting off right with Grant Williams. Just not a very intimidating person. He looks like a seal. Like, look at dude that's in this fucking tie, bro. Nigga look like a teacher that can't control his classroom, bro. They just be picking on him. Number 2, give me Karl Anthony Towns. The little ass milligram of intimidation that this nigga cat had went out the window and got hit by a fucking car on the day he opened his mouth and was like, after all that? Then the nigga had the audacity to try to change his fucking voice. At number 3, I'll be drafting Kyle Kuzma. I couldn't allow myself to be scared of a nigga who dressed like this. And I know y'all gonna be like, oh, but he's 6'7". You gotta remember, you know, he's big as hell. But in my opinion, that's even worse, nigga. You 6'7" dressing like this. At number 4, I'm gonna have to go Dylan Brooks. That kid got absolutely humiliated. He got embarrassed, bro. I don't know why I can't say that. Humiliated. He got humiliated and embarrassed. Got a spanking for having a potty mouth. And lastly, at number 5, the NBA player I am least scared of, Rudy Gobert. I don't even have to explain why. Just imagine like hearing somebody run up behind you and I go, look out, it's Rudy Gobert.
AG3 Pedro, who is the least intimidating NBA player in your opinion? Current NBA player.
Basically, I don't know. My pick would probably be about 98% of the league.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Huh? You think you can do this shit? Jay! You think you can do this to me? You motherfuckers will be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get finished with you.
98% of the league.
Is there a reason why 98% of the league is not intimidating?
Because none of them intimidate. They all a bunch of softies. They're women, you know, either the ones that try to act hard is probably sitting around beating women. There's a couple of hard ones. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple of them that I know could throw some things, you know, and probably can that I wouldn't be intimidated, but I understand. Like I respect them a little more if we was in a dark alley or, you know, we coming out the bar and, you know, things are being said. I respect them a little more. The rest of them, 98% no, man. And we talking about guys that's way bigger than me, but no. Nope, none. 98%.
Okay.
Because you said intimidating. I mean, how the fuck am I supposed to be intimidated by any of them, Jared?
All right. So
name Jimmy Butler or that dude out of Detroit. What's his name? Ike.
Isaiah,
him, Draymond Green. I'll throw up there. Maybe even you know, what you probably look like he throws some hands. What's the dude that's tall, not that athletic? Milwaukee Bucks played on this FIBA team, didn't do much. Where's the glasses?
Bobby Portis.
Like,
oh yeah.
Bobby Portis.
He knocked out his own teammate, messed up his career.
Yeah. Messed up his career. I know he could throw hands. Like I said, there's about a good small 2 to 3% of them that I know could throw some hands and be there, but the rest of them, yeah. And like I said, I'm still not gonna sit there and be threatened by him, but I gotta respect them, you know. If we are and start the rest of them, man, you seen NBA fights, man, Jared? Look what I just sent you. A pregnant Maria Taylor is more threatening than half of the league.
Yeah, your boy Karl Anthony Towns may be the softest person. Like I said, like you seen him, the nicest guy, real good gentleman. But boy, he ain't soft.
Yeah, he's soft, man. He get bullied by Embiid.
Oh man. Yeah, you can't be 7 feet and not ask for the ball when you need to score, man. That to me, and you got all that talent. Come on, man.
Of that list, who is the softest to you? Is it
on
Dylan
that list?
Brooks?
If I'm just going off that list, no, Dylan Brooks. I like Dylan Brooks. He embraces his villain role. I mean, I won't call him soft. I mean, he embraces his role. He don't.
We're not saying soft, but
I'm
intimidating. I guess.
I mean,
not really intimidating.
He's not intimidating. He's just who he is. He's a pest, right?
But you know he might do some dirty. Where does PJ Tucker fall in that list? Is he on the higher end of intimidation or lower end though, Aaron?
He's lower end, man. All he do is collect Jordans. He sure don't shoot. He don't practice shooting, but he collected enough Jordans to last a lifetime.
Do you think there's a correlation with the players becoming less intimidating and tough beyond the player empowerment movement, but with like the influx of European players and the game becoming more.
The sad part is some of the European players are tougher than these players now. Jokic is tougher than most of them, right? I mean, Wemby, he's a stick. He probably gonna get hurt, but
I don't know. Wemby, we're gonna see.
Especially the Eastern European players, they tougher than. I think it has to do. I think it's a correlation of entitlement the entitlement of the NBA players, entitlement that starts being created once you're good enough and recognized as being good from the AAU days, right? To just not having that mental fortitude and just going out there and getting it, and playing. I think there's a mental toughness when you're trying to play for. If we think about it, the last big star to play for his own high school was LeBron James, a neighborhood high school, right? We don't get that anymore. These guys don't play for high school. They don't sit there and go to battle and get in. Now you play for these. They play for IG and Academy. They play for these different academies, and they go and they play. They lose. Who cares? As long as they getting their thing ready. Like back then, it was you went into Crenshaw High. I never went and played a game against Crenshaw High. Played a game against Fremont, who had all their championship banners on that wall. It was intimidating. Crowd loud, acting like a bunch of hoodlums. They weren't hoodlums, excuse me. Acting like a bunch of, any word you want to put in there, but they was acting like it. It was intimidating. These guys, they play in these empty gyms with just nobody there but college coaches and scouts and shoe representatives. It's not the same, Jared.
Zion played for his high school.
Man, Zion played for Popeye's Chicken.
He was out there dunking on a bunch of.
He did play for his high school. So let me get wrong.
Private Christian schools. I feel like
he was dunking on private Christian schools. I mean, come on, you telling me he played for his high school? He played against the ball. He played. What was it, LaMelo?
Oh yeah, he was doing one of those. He was doing some of those traveling teams. So, all right. Well, Pedro, on that list. Who was the softest or the least intimidating for you? Was it Kuzma? Was it Dylan Brooks? Was it who was the other? Karl Anthony Towns?
I don't think he realized we can't hear him. Are he talking to somebody else?
He's talking to somebody else. Is
he talking to somebody else, or he can't hear us?
Yeah, no, I already said Karl Anthony Towns, Jared.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Was getting to you. I just had a rant about him. I said he's the nicest guy, probably the nicest guy in the NBA, gentleman, scholar. But it just, to me, he's just not. I can see where Jimmy Butler was getting at when he beat him at 1-on-1. I seen it. He showed it.
No, he didn't beat him at 1-on-1. You got to listen to that story.
No way, he beat all of them, didn't he?
He took he took
the guys that were going to get cut off the team.
He said the back of the bench. He said the last last four guys on the bench against
he beat the first team.
Against the first team.
First team minus.
Like I said,
he didn't take any. He didn't take any shots. Here's the crazy thing: when who's that to tell the story? Used to be point guard for Atlanta Hawks. Jared,
Jeff Teague.
Yeah, Jeff Teague. When Jeff Teague told that story, he talked about Jimmy didn't really shoot. He empowered the rest of them and talked crap, and they played scrappy, hard, and they killed the starting five.
Yeah.
It showed when it was time for them to show up, except for my man Ant-Man. Ant-Man is the only one that got any type, and he was hurt.
I think he was just tired too.
He was banged up. He had a bad shoulder and everything.
Because he played every game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and for me, there's certain types of players, and not everyone is that player. So that's part of it. So it's not. I don't think that is. I think with the AAU ball and the way it's being kind of governed or managed, or people are getting opportunities, you don't. You lose the value of the players who know how to lead or be who bring more intangibles. A lot of these guys are playing and get to these highest levels, and they're playing because they're all the stars of their little traveling team or their small school, right? And and then so on top of that, they're nobody ever kind of sees that. They don't see the guys that kind of bring the extra value. They don't learn how to play that way, or seeing, because I think there's value to see players who are more limited than you. There's levels, they're more limited, but then those guys, their aspirations are to do all the little things, or to pick up and focus on their skill set that can maximize within the team capacity. And seeing that and playing amongst that, I think that would make some of these players more equipped when they come in the NBA to fill in these team roles, because they've seen other people do it, and now they might realize that they're the ones that's that limited. At least they have a modeling of it, but I don't think they get that as model with non-traditional teams. They got all these recruited teams that all these guys are trying to be their number ones and shit. So maybe we're misjudging AAU though. Maybe AAU is teaching these values and it's just not translating to them figuring out how to become a role player in the NBA because not all y'all gonna be stars.
It is not, because they don't teach team concepts. You learn that at least in college, or at least in high school, where you might still be the star, but you're like you said, you're sitting there. Because I tell you this, the problem with AAU is you also get the jealousy factor, right? The other people there are either along for the ride because they're like, well, maybe I'll get a scholarship because I'm on this person's team, right? Mm-hmm. But I know, for example, my niece's team, you had the jealousy factor where, my brother-in-law, especially one of the teams, he was the coach, right? So my niece basically took every goddamn shot she wanted. And the offense was built around her. And then it got to the point where towards the end, she lost one of her best friends, who was like the second best player on the team, who would say, you know what, maybe my point per game would be higher if my dad was coaching, right? She said that at one point. And it's so you don't have that in high school. You're playing for your school, right? You still, like I remember being in high school, we were still trying to get our thing and see if we can earn scholarships and stuff like that. But we still were representing our school. We still went to school with each other. It was different. The AAU doesn't have that aspect. So now and then these guys are in colleges for 1 year. So, right. So it's like, okay, basketball season happens, 4 months, you're done and over with, 4 months, they're done. And if the ones are good enough to go pro, they're not. And even if they're not good enough to go pro, they still enter themselves in the draft. After 1 year, they're not learning any of the team concepts.
Yeah. Well, that's also one of the things I think, coaching a different generation, but I think has been valuable that one of the reasons why I think Greg Popovich is still a good coach or is one of the top coaches in my eyes is because I think over the years he's taught like these roles and this team concept better than most other, there's not a lot of, there's a few teams that you can name off that have like really played a really good team style or team concept basketball that hasn't devolved into just like isolation ball and get the ball to your stars as much as possible, you know what I'm saying? Or running just pick and roll or screen picking, you just setting the screen on ball, you know what I'm saying? With your best ball handler, your best offensive player. That's what a lot of this turned into.
Yeah, but I know the Bay Area Affinity. It's funny that didn't we find an article on that?
No. I'm just saying.
Area talked about that because I'll tell you this: with the new generation, he hasn't won, and they've been leaving him. Right?
No, that's fine. But they're leaving him and being better where they go, which is like.
But their reason for leaving him is because they're tired of the team ball.
No, I get that, and maybe
Jonathan Murray left for that reason.
They're not accustomed to that, yeah, and they weren't winning. It's not like they were doing great. So
no, that's what I said. They're not winning, and they're like, it's one thing. It's easier to get a bunch of Generation Xers like he had in Tim Duncan and Ginobili and that little horny French dude. It's easy for him to get a bunch of Generation Xers to be like, oh, well, I'm going to play this team ball, especially because we're winning. Can you get a whole bunch of Generation Zs and end of the line millennials, the young millennials, to be like, hey, can I buy into this?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, this is the window where he's maybe more like the A's have been. The A's are like a team that's not going to spend a lot and keep players. Players are not going to want to stay here for the whole career. And so they're almost like a farm system. They develop these players. They give them the tools to get the opportunity to get in, and then they go other places.
Who's farming someone? Who left San Antonio and is balling?
No, I'm not saying balling, but I'm saying like, so a couple factors. Greg Popovich, his window of being a championship team has closed right now until he gets another player or set of players that can put him in that place. He had that for like almost 20 years straight. So he had a great run. Now he's not in that. And the team has been, middling at best the last few years, right? Mm-hmm. But the players he has had, like, they're not great. They're not always great talent. And some of them are pretty tight, dope talents, but like, they're not great talents necessarily that you're going to win a title with, or you would expect to win a title with. But a lot of them have gone on to other teams and been solid and good players or good role players because they've played under Popovich. They came up under Popovich, right? So you have like the Kyle Andersons. You have your boy that helped beat the Warriors in the playoffs, stepped up big in those fourth quarters. Lonnie Walker played for Popovich, came up with Popovich. So, we argued with this earlier. I said DeMar DeRozan became the best version of himself after playing under Popovich, even though he put up less stats scoring wise than he had his whole career there. But then once he left, he's been averaging like 25, 7 and 8, or 8 and 7, like almost 25, basically 7 and 7, which he was never even close to, you know, when he started his career. So I'm just saying, like, I think he teaches these players, or he puts them in a situation where they learn these things, and when they go on to the next team, you know what I'm saying, even if they don't all win there because the talent combination isn't good enough, they seem to do pretty well and be like still good players for other teams.
You know what this reminds me of, what you're saying, Jared? It reminds me of when Niner fans would tell me, especially when the Arizona Cardinals drafted Kyler Murray, how much they loved the Cardinals. Finally discovered why. It is because the Cardinals, they would never root for Seattle or the Rams, who are actually competition for them, but they'll root for the team that's not competition because they got to play Seattle and the Rams at least 4 games. So they rooting hard for the Cardinals. That's what this argument is, man. Whenever I get a Warrior fan that roots for the Spurs become the goddamn 72 Dolphins to Warrior fans' head whenever they start explaining how good the Spurs were.
Well, anyways, all I'm saying is that Greg Popovich is a good coach. But also, I don't know how we even got here. Let's move on. Pedro.
Because we're talking entitled players.
Oh, entitled. Oh, yeah. So, anyways, yeah. None of these fools is that intimidating anymore. I want Kevin Willis back in the league. He kind of scared me when he had.
Oh, Kevin Willis. I'm going to tell you, Jerry Stackhouse was probably one of the last ones. Jerry Stackhouse could throw them hands. Kevin Willis was intimidating. We all know about Charles Oakley and the rest of them. You know, there were some players back in the day. Yeah, a lot more than now.
Yeah.
A lot more than now.
All right. Well, in sports news.
Let me hear some sports news.
I hear Jason screaming out in the living room right now because something happened in the Raiders. He's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" What happened with the Raider game?
Jimmy Garoppolo almost got one, he missed the pass to a wide open dude, and then on the next pass, he almost got Devontae Adams killed throwing over the middle. I mean, Devontae Adams caught it, but it got dislodged. Dude hit him with the all shoulder in the chest, but it was a hit.
Bitch, I'll never forgive you for this.
It's like, what is he doing, dude? He almost got it. It was like 3 people. He got corralled by a bunch of people on that. He lofted it up high, so he had to like stretch his body up in the air, jump and stretch his body, and it was a linebacker just laid full shoulder. I mean, head of steam into him.
Is he hurt?
No, he got up, but he was on the ground. He was sitting on his ass for a second, looking up, like he shook his head, like he was not happy. He was like, "That's one of those things that's a career ender."
That's one of those snot knockers. Knocked all the snot.
It's not the snot out of him, and probably it could have been worse.
Yeah,
it could have been worse. It felt like this: the referees threw 2 flags, and then they picked them up because they were right. They were right. It was all shoulder padding to the chest. Like, you can't flag it, but.
Yeah, no. Well, at least they got that call right. There's been some. In other news, we'll talk about some of these bullshit penalties. But in other news, Haley Van Voorhees. Wait, Van Voorhees.
Voorhees, dude.
Sorry, Haley Van Voorhees became the first woman to play in a college football game at a position other than kicker.
She registered a quarterback hurry.
She registered a quarterback hurry.
He basically tackled him way after he threw that ball.
It was a late hit too. Yeah,
I should have given her a hurry and a penalty on that play.
The 5'6", 145-pound junior registered a quarterback hurry in Shenandoah's 48-7 home win over Juanita.
Can you tell me what that means?
Actually, it's Juniata College. This is Division III football, by the way. I'm just the context for everybody, but. She got a hurry, and she had this to say after the game. "It's an amazing thing," Van Voorhees told the Post, Washington Post, that is. Shout out sponsorship. Pay us. We'll read your articles for you. Quote, "It's an amazing thing. I just wanted to get out there and do my thing. I want to show other people this is what women can do. To show what I can do. It's a big moment. I made the impossible possible, and I'm excited about that." End quote. Has Haley Van Voorhees made the impossible possible?
Nigga, please. I mean, I give her a lot of credit. Takes courage, you know.
Did she allow fruit to cure?
She followed her dream, man.
From now on, if you get that, what's his name, the Apple guy?
Steve Jobs, that pancreatic cancer.
You get that Steve Jobs, and you know what I'm saying, now you can just eat fruit.
That's why Felix Mitchell. That's why Felix Mitchell died in that jail cell over a box of fruit. He was trying to. Maybe he knew he was trying to get ahead of the cancer.
Yeah,
like Haley Voorhees.
Let me enter my inner Stu Gods from the Dan Levitard show and say this: do it in the Division 1.
Let's just move up to Division 2. You don't have to go as far as Division. Well, how about this?
Now do it on the road.
Yes, dude.
It's like. Do it in a hailstorm.
Now take a shower in the locker room with the man.
Come on.
Oh Lord, I'm sorry. I was making
it out, feminist.
You know what? She following her dream. She following her dream.
No,
I don't think it was feminist. That was just her interviewing. She ripped
feminist.
though. I saw a picture of her. She is ripped.
Yeah, she kind of she got some guns on her.
Right. Does she have nuts on her?
Tell me, he didn't just say that.
Oh my God. I'm sorry,
isn't there a women's football league?
I don't know, half the NBA teams got nuts on them.
Yeah,
they intimidation.
NBA. Yeah,
they ain't got enough testosterone to intimidate nothing.
Playing the G League. G League is probably got a bunch of females in there too. So yeah, just doing the Division 1. Show me something.
Hey,
come on, man. That's asking too much from her.
Yeah, no, and to be clear, like that, I think it's tight that she played in the game, and we fully support women pursuing that. I just was like, you remember last week in my
I don't support it.
Uncle Jimmy won't even play a woman in a Madden video game.
I don't want no woman playing football with a bunch of men.
Pedro sound like Uncle Jimmy.
I don't want to see a woman in the NFL no more than I want to see Ronda Rousey versus Floyd Mayweather in a cage match against Brock Lesnar. No more than I want to see Lisa Leslie trying to block out Zion Williamson for her last Popeye's chicken sandwich.
I'll be honest. It would be scary to watch. You know that situation.
And then and then she gets a crackback block, and all the men get blamed for it.
Yeah, no, but I think they have to probably go
Cut
through.
it out.
They got to go through a fair amount in practice to even get to that point. Like a coach would be, if they did it as a publicity stunt, and like the coach is like, yeah, they had one day of practice, and they're kind of tough, or they played tackle up until middle school or up to high school, but they didn't play in high school, and they want to come back. We're gonna do it as a publicity stunt. Yeah, that's bad. But if she's been part of the team, she's been practicing and training with the team throughout, then I'm like, hey, for sure. That's
it doesn't seem like she's starting or anything. So it's like you said, Jared. They put her in situations she can handle.
Yeah. And so here's the other thing.
Sure.
Here's
ain't no man there, so there's no man on that team protecting that woman at all. She wants to be on the coaching staff.
She's on defense, Pedro.
I'm all for that. Yeah, I know. But she wants to be on the coaching staff. I'm all for women coaching.
I mean, let her play. It ain't like she's trying to go
I don't
to
want
league.
her to play with no dude when she get that crack black.
And did you see? But Pedro,
I don't
mind you,
see
if she playing the game, it's Division 3, so they ain't like she playing against.
There was a couple of dudes in there that look like they would get cut off the Berkeley High team.
Pedro, let me put it like this, Pedro. If you would have stuck with football and took it serious, you would have
played that.
You wouldn't have played Division
Juanita.
3.
You could have played that.
You would have been Division 2. You would have been Division 3. You would have been 1 or 2, Pedro. You might have been a low 1 or a high 2. You wouldn't have been nowhere near Division 3, Pedro.
Yeah,
like Jared said, Division 3 of the fools that probably got cut in high school.
Pedro, this is the colleges.
It's non-scholarship, Pedro.
It's the colleges whose names look like they should be like headliners on a marquee at a concert venue and not a college. It's like
half the names look like we're reading the credits to Joanna Man.
Shenandoah. That's like wasn't that somebody that played with Prince? Prince album.
Or someone that opened up for Prince.
Yeah,
I'm all for women
versus Juniata.
I'm with that.
No, but the one thing that I found, like I was like, this is a cool story. That's dope. I remember they had the kicker a couple years ago that kicked a field goal and one of them, a couple kickers, right? That's been the
it was that Vanderbilt one, remember?
Yeah, and there was one other one that played in like a Division II game as a kicker too, or something like that. So I was like, this is cool. That's like I can appreciate progress and breaking convention. Whether this is like something that we should like, not saying that we should expect seeing more and more women playing football with men, but just like as something that to be done by somebody in their own personal pursuit to achieve something. Cool story. Like,
and the thing is, she's in college now. I mean, what's really blowing up in high school is the women's flag football. It's blowing up, man. I mean, it's big. When I was in LA last week, like I think I brought it up how much it was on the front page of LA Times, and even up here, Berkeley High's team is getting a lot of pub and run. I've read another news article on the. So I mean, Pedro. Maybe she was a little younger. She'll be on one of those teams. But I mean, you know, women love football too, as we see when we look at the games and look in the stands and look at who's spending money on jerseys.
I changed my mind. Y'all made me change my mind. I support women. I support women 100% in the kitchen.
This is worse than Uncle Jimmy.
I will hit stick a woman's weave into another area.
Yeah, what was that his name? Was that his name? Uncle Jimmy on
Uncle Jimmy on Marcellus and Jason Coon-ass Whitlock.
No, that man a coon.
Women 100%.
I think Pedro's saying this so he can get a job working with Jason Whitlock.
I think I'd like to recant my comment.
I support women in all their dreams.
Cooning out with Jason Whitlock.
So when they want to have 2 or 3 babies.
Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes got slobber knocked by the Oregon Ducks 42-6. This is what he had to say after the game.
It's good old-fashioned butt kicking. It's no excuses, no nothing. Their coaches did a heck of a job preparing their team. Obviously, we didn't.
This is the problem with Oregon, man. This is the problem with Oregon. The game is at Oregon, right? He's sitting there at a Costco table, floor level, like this. Oregon just a tacky ass place, man. You know what?
Did you see the locker rooms? Did you see the visitors' locker rooms?
They got all that money, and they gonna be just tacky. Don't be. You don't fix up the visit team locker room, but you don't be tacky with it.
Yeah, they did. I think they did everything on purpose.
Oregon's just tacky. He's sitting at a Costco table. No banner, no girdle around the table, nothing. Just a Costco table. The room is echoing.
And with Deion's situation, everyone's gonna look at his feet now.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I'm like, dude, I was looking. And I'm like, dude, this is just low class.
What kind of shoes is he wearing?
This is what I expect from a place in Oregon. The place that, look, when I was working women's basketball, and the guy kept saying just the craziest shit to me. It got to the point where I was like, the next thing he's gonna say is racial, because that's the last step, last line he got to cross. I'm over here, doing my job with the women's basketball team. They go in at halftime, and I start heading up that thing. I was about to whip that dude's ass. I told Josh I might not be on the flight back. I don't know what's gonna happen. I might be in trouble, but I got it. And J Ag sit there and say, Aaron, do what you got to do. And I went up the stands, and I was going to whip that dude's ass. And then I felt a hand grab me and wouldn't let go. And there was another brother there, and he said, I hear everything you're saying, brother. I know it's hard, man, but think about this. In like 2 more hours, you gone. You get to go home. I got to stay here and finish my schooling here. That's the only thing that calmed me down. And I thank that brother, because I was going to whip that white dude's ass. And so Oregon's just a tacky place. But if we're going to stick to the game, they got stampeded, right? They're the Buffalo, but they got stampeded.
There was a clear differentiation between one team's ability just to run the ball and just out execute. It looked like it wasn't like a scheme thing as much as it was like they were just hat on a hat, bigger and better than them.
They just ran over them. And like he said, like Deion Sanders, I do give Deion this, and I wasn't one of these people who were sitting here who was like a Deion, I follow college football a little, so I'm not one of these people that's buying into the hype, right? I knew it was good. I said they were going to lose the next couple of games at Oregon and USC, and I felt like they were going to get. And USC defense not good, but I think they'll be good enough to probably hold Shedeur and them to maybe 20-something points while they scoring 50. And I just say this. I like what Deion Sanders said with the Coach Prime. Excuse me. I like what Coach Prime said when he said, "Hey, you know what? Just get me now. He said, get me now while you can. Because I will say this, he is changing the game, recruiting wise, transfer portal wise, and everything. And I think players are going to like that. Players are going to like how honest he is. He's not over here lying. He's not lying to players. He's not saying, I'm trying to get you an education and things like that. Now, while he's not overtly saying that to us, but we know you come to Colorado, you're going to get you an NIL deal. You go Coach Prime, you're going to get taught. When he got Travis Hunter, he said, I'm going to coach you up so you get ready for the next level, right? He is sitting up here talking about, I'm going to make you a good man. You're going to get a degree and you're going to be a great husband. All that other bullshit that Saban and all those fucking lies. Think about all those recruits that Nick Saban had for years. The reason why Alabama is so sauced now, because back in the day, he was sitting in people's living rooms, lying to those guys. And meanwhile, those guys could have been starting at other places, at Auburn, at A&M, at
UC Berkeley.
No, I doubt that. No, they would have chose bigger schools than that. But they probably would have been starting at USC, or maybe they would have gone to like a Miami or some place that had that Missouri. And he was getting them, telling them, "Oh, you're gonna start here." He kept saying, how my players go to NFL. So meanwhile, they sit there and sit on this bench for 4 years and never play. Some of them never play, and it was a genius move because he also kept the other teams weaker, right? He brought him in, and now Deion's not lying to you. And I think players are going to appreciate that more. And players they're going to gravitate more to the Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, than they're going to gravitate to Nick Saban.
Yeah. Well, no, I saw a video where the guy was talking about the Nick Saban in the transfer portal, like really hitting him hard because now
they don't want to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. Even like Alvin Kamara was like, I'm third on the depth chart of Alabama right now. Or
so think about that.
To Tennessee.
And now it's before the transfer portal. He also had to sit out another year. When he went to Tennessee, he didn't play for 1 year. He transferred. And then even back then, there was no transfer portal. The coaches had to help you transfer. So the coaches helped him transfer, but he didn't because the coach had to make the call for it. Now that power is out of people like Nick Saban here. No more of that game, no more. Now it's in the players' hands, which it should be. Now it's now a coach like Prime.
You sound like a leftist.
I sound like someone who said, you know what, this system was closer to slavery, and it was one paid person, one person getting all the money while you. Like, I had no problem with college players not getting paid back then, especially because the money wasn't big back then. But I didn't like how the rules were around that. I didn't like the transfer rules. I didn't like how coaches could leave and go to another school and start playing. They didn't have to wait anything, but players had to, use the coach and the transfer portal. And that's why everybody in Alabama hitting it now. They ain't got to wait for him. They ain't even got to tell his ass.
Yeah, and that's tight, though, too, because they dissolved the NCAA pretty much in, like, their power, what they can do other than sanction you maybe still, I guess. I don't know. Can they still do that?
They try, they can, but they're losing that power now.
Most of these teams are like, we're gonna self-impose and then
self-impose and doing nothing, dude. Doing nothing. But I think there does need to be a body that's in charge, because you do need a governing body.
No, you need a governing body, but they should just be an administrative governing body that is not there. That's there to manage things as they need to be managed, but not become some entire multi-billion-dollar corporation. All right. Well, is this officially the end of the hype train of Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffs this season?
No.
As the Oregon Ducks coach said, they hunt for clicks, we hunt for wins. This game ain't gonna be won in Hollywood. It's gonna be won on that field.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, and then they went in there and they stomped a mud hole in their ass, so it must have worked.
Yeah, how many times Oregon sit up there and get killed by a team punched them in the mouth like Utah? Utah's punched them in the mouth like the last 3 years.
Yeah, no, I think what you saw, Coach Prime, his team, I think even though he got some transfers to come in and he brought some of his own players and he inherited a team, like, this team was talent depleted as a program, right? It was not talent.
They won one game.
Yeah, they were not talent rich. So what they have is probably more talented than what they had last year, because they've already won more games. But
they're not deep. They're not deep,
and their top talent might not match up as well with some of the other. It's not going to match up as well with some of these other schools' top talent. And
no, and look,
especially if you're not catching them off guard anymore.
He's recruiting, like he's recruiting coaches. Like I think he's got Warren Sapp on the waiting list next year for defensive coordinator spot or defensive line spot. I'm not sure.
Hopefully, just a line spot. I don't know. He's a coordinator.
Well, I mean, he learned from Tony Dungy, so I mean,
no, he played for Tony Dungy. Don't mean he learned from him.
Yeah, that's true. He probably
sometimes when you have like that natural talent, I like the guys like Mike Vrabel, right? Like the guys who had to really work hard. They didn't have the naturally gifted talent because they had to accept coaching and they had to work hard at it. They had to study a lot harder. Not to say Warren Sapp didn't study, but it ain't the same as like a guy like the reason why you see players like Dan Campbell and Mike Vrabel make good coaches. Right. And Mike Tomlin and even Tony Dungy himself. Tony Dungy was like a backup cornerback. Right. Tony Dungy, Herm Edwards, these guys, they were on the team. They made some plays here and there, but they were the backups. They were the guys that really had to work hard to stay. They had to study. They're really up under the coach, accepting coaching. Right. Some of these natural talent. Do you think like Deion turned himself into a great coach because I think it's also the way he's tackled the system and motivates. Right. The way he's tackled the system and motivates. But you think Deion took a lot of coaching when he was in the NBA, NFL? And you could tell he didn't because he wasn't as polished as a corner as like Darryl Green or anyone like them, right? And so he wasn't as polished, but he had the athletic ability up the yin-yang. And so I mean, I can see Warren Sapp moving to a defense tackle. I'm gonna tell you this: they're gonna go on another run. It's just not now. They're gonna lose the next couple of games. They got USC going into Colorado next week. Caleb Williams is just a real deal. Like I said, like I'm at to agree with Nick Wright. Caleb Williams is probably about the maybe the 8th best quarterback in the United States right now. And that's
8th best quarterback in the NFL. That's not in the
NFL. In the NFL, he's the 8th best quarterback, even though he's not in the NFL right now. He might be moving up the ranks. He looked good. He looked good.
And he got an arm. He sling that ball.
He played bad yesterday, and he put up 42 points.
He played bad, and he scored 5 touchdowns, 3 passing and 2 rushing. And he rarely run, but he's fast as hell. That boy good, man. That's all I'm going to say. I just hope that Arizona Cardinals could win enough games. I hope the Rams can lose enough. We got our number 1 pick this year. I'm ready to throw in the towel, man, and just get Caleb Williams, keep him in L.A., man. But anyway, they're gonna lose the next couple. Then they end the year in a tough spot. Like they got Cal. After they play USC, they got A-State. They'll probably beat them at A-State. Then they got Stanford. They'll probably win that game. And then they're at UCLA. They'll probably win that one.
I think the USC game would be interesting. I don't think they're going to play. I think they're going to keep that close. That might be able to win because that USC's defense, whoever the defense coordinator is, he ain't the guy.
Yeah, but the only reason
they don't have it seemed like they got they got that one defensive tackle they got from the ACC. And the rest of them dudes look like West Coast.
I agree, but the thing is, it's still USC, so their defensive players are still going to be better than most of Colorado's offensive players. Right, like Jared said, the trenches is going to be they still big and got size, and so they're. I think, like I said, I think Colorado
they
score.
Let some white dude drag them for like 200 yards yesterday, and they're not even good. Arizona's not good. They going through everybody that transferred out of there because all the sanctions they got against them, and USC was getting gouged.
Okay, they beat him by how many touchdowns? Like 4 or 3 touchdowns?
They beat him at the end of the game. Arizona controlled that game. That's what I said. Caleb Williams had a terrible game and still scored 5 touchdowns. He was playing bad and they still won. That's because it's a horrible Arizona team.
It might be closer, but USC's winning. USC gonna win that game, Pedro. The USC's 8th in the country for a reason. They're going to win that game.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be close.
But they still going to win that. I see that the next competition game will be Oregon State. Then they got Arizona, so they'll win that one. Washington State's ranked 16 this year, playing good. The end of the year at Utah, that's going to be the most interesting game. Oregon State's going to be interesting because Oregon State's in the top 20. Oregon State got a great defense for some weird reason. But
if they get any other rhythm against Utah, Colorado beats Utah.
Well, the thing about Utah's a great
7 points against UCLA,
but Utah's is strong in the trenches. They'll run the ball, they'll keep it out their hand, and Utah's also the best defensive team.
That's what I said. If Colorado gets their rhythm, if Shedeur Sanders plays like he played in the first 2 games, they can beat Utah. Believe me on that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they could keep rolling again, Jared. The hype train could get back up again. They'll keep rolling. I didn't expect them to go undefeated. The problem was what I like to call our Twitter world that we live in, right? Our social media world we live in, Jared, was you had people. I talked to 2 people last week who was like, man, I watched they watched the game against Colorado State. And I was like, and they were like, did you watch that one? I was like, no, I watched the other 2 games. I wasn't going to watch that one. That one wasn't going to be a good one, even though it ended up being good. I watched all the overtimes. But I was like, that was like the worst one to watch. If anyone that knows college football knew that this team, if he could get this team to be a double-digit win team with only like 2 or 3 losses, if they win 9 games, it was a remarkable season for this team. No,
if they finish with a winning record, it's remarkable. The bar has been raised that like people were starting to hype them up to think that they could be like
national
undefeated champion. Or and I might even bought into it, but like, oh man, that'd be tight if they could keep winning and like, get into some kind of playoff. But like realistically, it still felt like it's kind of like a dream scenario, and that's without me even looking at like the competition that they had to play this year. Like, and when you think about it, it's like, oh yeah, Oregon's a good team. That's a good program. It has a lot of money. They're always gonna be. They're never not going to be trying to find the next new best thing, right? And that's what Oregon does.
Oregon's always going to be fast. They're always going to be offensive and fast.
Yeah.
Right. And then USC's always going to be good. Right. And then you got Utah that's always going to have defense. The Pac-12, for its last year, the teams are good this year for its last year. If they would have been like this the last 5 years, maybe the Pac-12 wouldn't be dissolving.
No, I think, well, here's the thing. I think the Pac-12, I think the Pac-12 doesn't get enough representation in the bowl games. And part of it is because it's fucking 12 teams. You don't get the favor of some of these like the Big 12 or like the SEC. So like, but you're taking each other out. Like I think the level of play and that's why I always still see a lot of Pac-12 or Pac-10 players in particular when it's still the Pac-10. You would get a lot of like good teams. You know what I'm saying, are good players coming out of these teams, like from all throughout the Pac-10, right? And
yeah, but I think that was the USC was being good enough. Once USC got to national Pete Carroll got the national prominence.
Yeah,
you started seeing more recruits just come, like recruits who wanted to go to USC were like, okay, well,
coming to the West Coast.
I can't play that, so I'll go to Oregon or I'll go to Cal. Right? You started seeing teams like Cal get good. Even Washington come back and get back in the string. Arizona had a run during that time.
Yeah. Well, you saw more pro style offenses also being run more regularly through these teams in this division. Not every team ran a pro style offense, but it was more percentage of the Pac-10 played pro style offenses than the SEC or the Big Ten.
I agree.
And so I feel like the bar has been raised, but if they can get to like 6 or 7 wins this season, have a winning record, that'd be great. If they can stay in the conversation for like the Pac-12 title or some kind of stay in the top 25 by the end of the season, I think that'll be also a great season for them. If they're somehow in the top 25 at the end of the season, that's essentially would be like a great achievement. So anyways, anything else on Coach Prime?
Coach Prime doing a great job.
Not yet.
All right. Well, is there any other sports news? You want to talk about NFL a little bit? Do NFL updates?
Well, I don't know why you were so upset watching the Saints game. You texted about it like 3 or 4 times. I'm not understanding.
And in sports news, DJarTT was frustrated by the Saints versus the Packers game, where the Packers trailed 17-0 in the fourth quarter and came back to win 18-17. After going for it after scoring a touchdown on a fourth down play, they went for 2 so that when they did score again, they could just kick the field goal and get the lead. It was, anyways. In that game, my boy Derek Carr got hurt, AC joint pain. He done for a little bit, man. He was out the game, and Jameis Winston played like a scared little boy out there. Unfortunately, he did not throw the ball around the way we expect famous Jameis, to throw that ball around. He was not chucking it around, Rashawn Gary also, I heard, had 3 sacks or more, something like that. He was balling, I guess. But regardless of which, I also got to watch the Green Bay offense, which, to some degree was mildly entertaining. If you consider repeated jump balls down the right sideline, entertaining football, then sure, that's like 70% of the passes I saw him throw were just down the sideline, a jump ball for his receiver. Like 9 out of 10 were not caught. They finally caught one as the big touchdown. Like, yeah, motherfucker, that's why we do this. It's like it's also why you could not score any points until the fourth quarter. You keep running some poop-butt ass, stupid ass offense. Anyways, so Jordan Love looks like he's got a live arm. I don't know if he's the most accurate right now. I like to see him test the middle of the field more. He made a couple of decent throws in the middle of the field, but also missed a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, man, the Packers got lucky today. And Derek Carr, man, he might be the savior that the Saints need. If he's injured, we're going to see what Jameis Winston can be. I hope he don't blow it. That's all I know it. And, in other news, Dallas Cowboys got their butt kicked by the Arizona Cardinals. Everything I said last week is voided. This team is not built different.
Come on, Jared, man. It was 1 week, man.
Lordy.
It's a young season still. We ain't in a quarter of the way through the year yet.
I don't know. For me, seeing the Cowboys, I didn't see the game, so I have no idea. All I know is that they were playing from behind the whole game, and that's not how they want to play. That's not going to be a recipe for success. I think Dak Prescott can lead them and bring them back in games, but at the same time, like, we got to be better. It was a rough game. I heard that they rested, or some of their offensive linemen, starting O-line was out, so that probably didn't help with the run game or the pass protection. So that could have been an issue. But it's just the Cowboys, man. So you're gonna be high 1 week and feeling good about yourself, and then the next week you're gonna be like, oh no, they're gonna remind you who they are. So anyways, the Cowboys lost. Fuck that shit. I didn't see the game, so I can't even really say that much about it. All I can say is
it's a young week, Jared. It's a young NFL season. We're still, I made some proclaim to someone who's an older Niner fan, and he was quick to remind me that the season just started. Right? He could go any direction. Right? You get injuries, teams get better, teams rally around each other, teams figure it out, teams figure out, who can step into what position better to fill in for somebody. It's still a young season and a lot of figuring out to do. I remember when Sean Payton first took over his first year in New Orleans, and he just signed Drew Brees. And I remember watching, not that year, the second year in preseason that year, Drew Brees played 3 games of preseason. In the first games, he played one series. The second game, he played like a quarter. And then the third game, he played 3 quarters. And I remember just seeing him just clicking on all cylinders, right? Clicking on all cylinders. And then I thought about and then they went on to win the Super Bowl day. I remember telling people, hey, man, I think the Saints win the Super Bowl this year, man. I've just been watching preseason. And they remind me of the Rams, when the Rams, Kurt Warner, and they were just clicking, right? They were clicking with Trent Green up into game 4. But Trent Green only misfired on one pass. He even completed the pass that shredded his knee. But I was just like, damn, this. And I remember telling someone, I was working in the city, and I was like, man, I think this is the Rams' year. And people were like, what, man? Shut up, right? I'm like, no, man, this is the Rams' year. And I was like, this is the Rams. I'm a Ram fan. It's the Rams' year. And then right? I remember Marshawn. Thought I was full of it. I was like, no, dude, they've been clicking. But you don't get that anymore. Like before, you could see that, and you're like, "Damn, this team." I remember back in '92. I remember it was like '91, right before the Cowboys. It was like the first year they made the playoffs with the Big Three, and I remember me and my brother-in-law. We were watching them click, and then we had to pick up someone at the airport it was like the first game of regular season. Every game wasn't on TV then, but they were going over the stats on the radio, and they're like, Michael Irvin caught 9 balls, and this was Alvin Harper's rookie year. And he goes, man, as soon as they get this boy Alvin Harper involved, he's the deep threat. They get him more, figure out how to work him into it. They're going to be unstoppable, Aaron. You remember that, Pedro? Big Eric, when we used to make our predictions, he basically called Dallas. But part of that was because they played preseason. They practiced hard. They played preseason, so you could see from game 1 who your better teams were, who was going to do what. But, Jared, I'll be out nowadays. They don't play enough preseason. You really don't start filling out the NFL until week 6.
It's really hard to tell. And they're throwing the ball a lot more often. Yeah. So you really have to get in the rhythm when you throw a ball. When you throw the ball every down, like they do in the NFL, you really gotta
Week 6, we won't know really what. I mean, people are gonna win games. Like, look, you saw the Chiefs lose the first game, and then they're gonna and then play a team that they probably should have killed, and it was close, and Chiefs will still be there at the end of the year. Week 6,
still
man.
A blowout.
Well, I'm not talking about Chicago. I was talking about
that's what it's
last
still
week.
17-9.
Yeah, I mean they won 17-0. Yeah, they did.
They defensively dominated that whole game because everybody fell for the Trevor Lawrence hype.
They did weeks, and then they went out there and got blown out by Houston.
And that was the last year. You got to remember they started off slow. They didn't get their rhythm, so these teams are not going to get their rhythm until, like you said, 6 games in, Aaron.
Yeah, 6 games in.
Well, the Cowboys need to get their rhythm back to not playing like mediocre dog shit.
Oh, that's
Well, the defense still looked like it can play a little bit.
Yeah, I text Jared. The defense didn't show up, and then they had 3 offensive linemen not play, so their rhythm was way off. And on top of that, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. This is the hot take. This is the hot take of the week for the NFL season. Dak Prescott doesn't have it. Doesn't have it. You can't throw an interception like that.
The one at the end of the game?
Yeah, you can't throw that. That ball cannot be thrown. I seen the receiver route. They showed it on NFL Network. I seen the receiver route was horrible. That play call was trash, like the stuff they was calling last year. But you cannot force it between 2 safeties and a linebacker. That was a horrible throw. He's trying to find his ticket out of there, and he just earned it right there. Jerry Jones seen that and was like, "Let's get this nigga out of here, Chris Christie."
Yeah, Chris Christie called him Chris Christie to get him out.
No, Chris Christie was
always sitting in the booth with him.
Oh, he was in the booth with him?
Yeah.
I wonder if Jerry Jones is supporting him or Trump this year, huh, Jerry?
No, he's trying to get – Jerry Jones is trying to get back to some reasonable Republicans. So he's probably throwing some money. He's going to throw some money.
He's like, y'all about to burn down the whole party and fuck up everybody's money.
Exactly. Exactly.
These crazy nut jobs. That's another thing that
he probably knows Trump is going to jail. Jerry Jones.
Aaron, our political issues right now, other than Charleston White, our political issues are also in big part to your boy Steve Jobs.
Probably so.
All the social media got all these stupid people getting opportunities to run for Congress and shit.
Talking and following theories and just spouting them off out the mouth. But play that Charleston White again in a second so I can see what words he couldn't pronounce.
Let me see.
That brother couldn't pronounce Denzel. He couldn't pronounce anything. Come on, look at the Costco. He can barely get his feet underneath the table, Deontay.
I think his feet were hanging past the table.
No, well, he can't put his knees up.
The damn Costco. They got a small Costco table and a folding chair.
Look at this, like there's a seam between the boards they put down to be the facade of the ground.
That's what I'm telling you, man. Oregon, man, not classy, man. Forget. I wish Big Ten kick him out.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Let's see what.
But I feel like a lot of there are the LeVar Balls out there. There are a lot of dads who put their son in a certain position so they could get to the league, so they could generate millions.
Don't listen. Didn't they blackball that man? I hate our black celebrities, my nigga. I don't want nothing to do with none of. I see him and act home. I don't even speak to him, homie. I don't even speak to him. They be trying to get at me, homie. I don't even speak to them. Because I know what them niggas is. From DR, Denzel, Tyler, Jay-Z, you gotta suck a white boy's dick to get where they at. I know that with all my heart. To get Tom Brady to come coach your son, you got to jack a white boy's dick off, son. And I'm not doing it. Dion had to do it.
All my art to get Tom Brady to Trump coach your son. That man ain't got an education. Who the hell is he? Why do people follow him?
Because he says shit.
He's done a lot of cocaine in his time, so
I don't know if he can afford it, man. That's the problem with YouTube.
I'm talking about in this time.
No, he's now. He's one of the dudes. He's somebody who just says shit, and he knows people see it, and they're like, "Man, I can't believe this dude says shit. People are gonna get him." And every time people try and come at him, he always carry around guns and weapons and be like, "I ain't playing with you. You fuck me."
I saw when he took out a knife on this dude.
Yeah, nah, he's been online several times in his house with his guns, being like, "Y'all come talk to me. Don't mess with me. I don't play. I don't play that.
So how
dirty."
See, fools lose their contract with the Raiders for doing that, but people just, if you ain't got no job, I guess you could just do it on social media all day.
Unless he gets moderated by the platform for stuff, that's the only other way. But if people aren't reporting him, and there's like, this is hilarious because it's a Negro doing some ignorant shit.
Well, is he in his house pulling weapons out?
Yeah, he's in his house though, so you can do it in your house.
You ain't doing it in your house. It's not on the street. Yeah, he's out of Oakland, right?
No, hell no. He's somewhere.
He ain't. He's
one of your Oakland
Charleston White? Nah, we don't claim him.
Nobody claiming him. Nobody's claiming him. That man got an education of an American slave.
He'll say whatever he needs to say, but he's usually railing against black people of some sort. But then he says he loves us and he don't trust the white man. But then he be dressed as a Klan man doing some coon ass shit, and it's some kind of, I don't know.
He got the education of an outdoor slave.
He just say. He's like the one that stayed on that one same crop their whole life, never smart enough to work other parts of the field.
They just got him digging the holes to plant the new seeds and just picking because he don't recognize what season it is or nothing, just ignorant. Ignorant slave master had one, man. He ignorant, but he more ignorant than the boys that got kicked in the head by mules.
You cannot reach this elite level where these niggas at. If you don't let these white boys play in your ass, you cannot do it, my nigga.
He'll have kids think there's no dream in Hollywood. He'll have kids think there's absolutely no dream in Hollywood. Just like I discourage people from having irregular sex. This is what this dude's doing with people's dreams.
You cannot do it. You gotta bend over. You gotta be subservient. You gotta be a docile nigga. You can't bark at white folks to be a DJarTT.
Was that a docile? Was that him trying to say docile?
You can get mad at him and say certain things, but you can't cuss him, and you better not rebuke him.
A lot of great points.
A lot of great points. That's all you can comment on it.
Let's get to Cuddy Corner shout-outs. Cuddy Corner shout-outs. Cuddy Corner shout-outs is a segment we end the show on where everyone gets a chance to rant, complain, or highlight something positive in the world. Cuddy Corner shout-outs. Cuddy Corner shout-outs. Oops, wrong. Sorry. It's time. Cuddy Corner.
We're burning now. God, if you let it in, hell. So cold and bleeding now. I'm in for it, man. Gonna let you down. He had sex with my mama. We're broken people now. Doctor said I need a bacchiotomy.
Doctor said I need a bacchiotomy. Aaron, do you have a Cuddy Corner shout out?
You know I do. My Cuddy Corner shout out goes out to Jay-Z for just being overall, not just being like Tupac said in the beginning of Blasphemy, or he had that dude saying in the beginning of Blasphemy, Jay-Z of Hawaiian Sophie fame and several other corny sounding motherfuckers, right? Jay-Z, man, I don't know if he's a puppet. I don't know what I want to call Jay-Z, man. I want to give him credit for the empire he's built, the billion-dollar industry he's made himself, especially coming from Marcy Projects, right? I know, come from Marcy Projects with my boy Lala, right? I mean, he's worked hard. He deserved everything he's gotten. He's worked his ass off, but it's just several moves that he just make me think why, right? And this one is, why the hell did he choose Usher to do the Super Bowl halftime show? Like, why do anybody want to sit here and watch Usher? Are you worried? You're trying to include the demographics of black women watching the halftime show, right? Why Usher? I'm not understanding. What, he gonna sing My Confession? What happened to the days of having the halftime show be performed by the people who like dance and move around? Last year, you had a pregnant Rihanna, right? She couldn't dance. Her lip syncing was off. Everything else. Still love Rihanna, but you know what? That was not the time for her to do that show. it was nice. I mean, she was on some platforms and shit, you know, looking like Super Smash Brothers, but without Earl Thomas.
I personally live vicariously through my women.
And it was still good though. But why? I mean, I just, you know, usually halftime show generate excitement, man. I mean, bring out a pop star. This is a time for pop stars. So Usher, come on, man. Come on, man. You gonna bring out Tom from Boondocks too?
Bitch, get your ass in the car.
Kiss my ass, you little dick faggot motherfucker. If you was any kind of real man, I wouldn't be here with Usher in the first place.
Wait, hold on. I don't think that's what Sarah would say.
It's now tragically obvious that reasoning with the bitch is not gonna work, Tom. You have to hit her.
I'm an assistant district attorney, for Christ's sake.
Tom, you have to get past this.
It's okay, faggot. Really?
See, faggot, she just gave you permission.
I know why he did it. You know, a lot of people turned down.
What?
The Super Bowl halftime.
Jordan.
Because they tired of his ass. I told him not to hit this button.
Kobe.
Michael B. Jordan is auditioning for the Super Bowl halftime show. What would Michael B. Jordan do?
Hey, auntie. Hey, auntie Beyonce. You know, I might not sing. I might not dance. I didn't get the role for James Brown because Chadwick Boseman got it. I didn't get the role I also went out for Jackie Robinson, but Chadwick got that too. Then I tried to audition for Walking Dead, but Chadwick Boseman beat me to that too. So I might not be able to sing, dance, but I get up and I could do some improv, right? I mean, I am somebody. I am everybody. I am. I'm wearing a Kaepernick jersey and say, I'm going to take this Super Bowl off your hands.
Pedro, do you have a Cuddy Corner shout out?
My Cuddy Corner shout out goes to Deion Sanders. Not because of his coaching. Let's give Deion a lot of credit. Let's give him bundles. Let's give him his flowers, whatever these folks be saying now. Let's give him his praise. He's doing I think he's doing it from what he had and what he had to come up to. He's doing a great job. It was well more. It's like it's more than what everybody expected. You know, we won again. We opened up, beating BYU. Shedeur Sanders looks like he can be an NFL prospect. But this is where I kind of draw the line. This is the stupid black people society thing going on here. This nigga had every hip hop star, every Negro celebrity, everybody can imagine that's on the cool side of the game on the sideline. That nigga had cocaine snorting Michael Irvin. He had the Wu-Tang Clan. He had Cameron. He had Key Glock and Bebop and Rocksteady. He had Eric B. and Rakim. He had Snoop Dogg. He had Dr. Dre.
He had Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello.
Help me out there. Y'all can help me out. Y'all jump in on this. This nigga had every Negro icon you can think of on the sideline of those games. He had Shannon Sharp, big lip, big tongue ass up there. This nigga had everybody that was popular. It's just, and I'm like, dude, if you're at prime time, all you need is yourself. You are the best cornerback that we have ever seen. Okay. We don't need nobody else. We don't need all these people. You don't have to impress these kids. Impress these kids with some knowledge. I'm just tired of this showmanship. I kind of have to agree with the other coaches when they was doing all that hating. You prime time, man. You don't need all those celebrities and everybody on the sideline and get niggas recruitment. Well, maybe you do, because that's when all you niggas do is celebrate celebrities. Y'all can't just go on the prime time. You can't go to Colorado just on the prime time dime. Y'all need all the extra celebrities. You need all the support. You need to say, hey man, I got all these celebrities backing me. Y'all got to come here. No, you prime time. You come on prime time. You don't need all that extra showmanship on the side. Y'all got distracted. You got your behind kicked from all those distractions and almost lost 2 games that you had no business losing to, or you almost lost to Colorado, but you had no business keeping close. That squad is terrible as Buffalo. So, yeah, Deion, come on, man. I understand inviting 1 or 2 guys, but you didn't have this nigga had the whole Wu-Tang Clan. Everybody got a press credential. I think I was on the sideline with a high score 510 podcast sticker on. It's important. We probably got extra listeners this week, Jared, because I was on the sideline dancing and skipping with a key glock.
With Stephen A. Smith?
With Stephen A. Smith. I was on a private jet. He flew me private jet out there, Jared, on Spirit.
On Spirit. I heard you was on Value Jet.
All right, well, my Cuddy Corner shout out goes out partially to myself and mainly to Wingstop. Wingstop, let me just say something to you. I ain't had y'all in a while. There's a good reason for it. It took like an hour to get an order of like 10 wings from y'all, like on numerous occasions where y'all just didn't have your shit together. And I said, I'm not gonna waste my time with this place anymore. Were the wings that I got good? They were decent. Were they the best I had? No. Were they good enough to make me say, hey, I'm going to look past these glaring deficiencies for this quality? I said, no. But I've noticed a lot of people like Wingstop. They seem to enjoy Wingstop. And I always have this old just sentiment that I haven't, given a chance to like see if it would change or should change. So I said, this sentiment's like about 10 years old now when Wingstop was, still pretty early on. So let's go to Wingstop today. I was out and about, just, hanging out, helping out my buddy Dave. Shout out to Bike Vallejo in their Pedal Fest event today. They had races going on. They had like obstacle course. They had swap meet. They had food trucks. They had Dave put on a bike rodeo safety course for children to learn how to ride around safely. Obstacle course he sets up every year, so that was cool. So I was out and about, and I was heading over to my mama's to have lunch and watch the latest episode of Only Murders in the Building. That's a great show, by the way. Have y'all seen it? Have y'all watched it?
Oh no, it looked good. It does look good.
It's a good show, and if you enjoy theater, it is even more good. Anyways,
I enjoy theater when I'm with Lauren Berber.
You get me in the theater with her, I'll pay top dollar.
I'll top dollar orchestra seats.
But regardless of which, there was a Wingstop on the way. I said, you know what? I'm going to change that today. I'm out about. Let's go to Wingstop. So I go to Wingstop. I order a 10-piece combo, get a soda, some fries, and 2 flavor sauces. I go with the lemon pepper. I go with that. That's a good standard one. Do they got their seasoning right? And then their what is it, basic hot or whatever, like, which is supposed to be like their standard buffalo, right? Because you gotta do buffalo right. You ain't a wing spot if your buffalo ain't hitting. I had the wings. They were decent. They were good. They were solid. The buffalo ones were a little bit. They weren't crispy the way I would like them to be. The lemon pepper ones were crispy. Well, good. They had a good crisp on them. So that's kind of a strike on them. But then also, their fries were kind of mediocre. It's like they put sugar on their fries and shit. I was like, man,
the fries.
I was like, man, I want sweet fries, man. How about you just get some sweet potatoes and fry them motherfuckers? Don't like try and make these potatoes. These not even like they're soggiest.
They try to make some cold russet potatoes sweet.
Yeah. I know. So that was a letdown. The soda was soda, so I sipped a little bit of that, and that tasted all right. But my real issue is the fact that the sauce, the buffalo sauce was decent. The lemon pepper was like a little bit artificially flavored, so like it was tasted good, but it was like this isn't like fresh. This is like salt and more other whatever. And it really set in to me like that how mid it is. Although it tastes good, and just people might really like it, and I'm not going to hate on that, but I'm gonna let you know it's mid for sure, mid. Their red sauce had the nerve to stain my motherfucking fingers for about the last 9 hours, 8 hours of the day. So it looks like I've been, saying I applied that artificial tanner. People put on artificial tanner, turns your skin kind of orangish, pseudo brownish. Like my fingers from buffalo sauce at Wingstop, my fingertips and my nails partially look like that. I don't know what the fuck I just ate. I said, I don't know. What did I eat? I ate something that's stained. It's going to stain my fingers. It's probably staining my insides. Wingstop. What the fuck kind of sauce y'all using? It wasn't that good, but does it need to stain my fingers? A standard place other than a strip club Pedro used to go to a lot, it would be Hooters.
Hooters got some good wings.
Hooters, like they will do and then you get the whole wing. You don't get these fucking tiny little wings that I was like, Wingstop, I thought y'all had the whole wing. This is Wingstop. Y'all used to have it. They couldn't sustain it though, because they too cheap. That's what it tells you. You want good wings, go to Hooters. They'll bread it for you or they're not breaded for you. They'll fry it hard for you or they're not. And they got about 48 different sauces that are usually all pretty good. And their buffalo don't stain your fingers for 8 to 9 hours. And their fries ain't sweet with sugar in them.
I like this sugar fries. That's how I got diabetes.
And you get, you see some beautiful, busty women's wearing leggings and high socks.
I ain't never been to Hooters.
You've never been to Hooters, bro?
Nope. Is there one out here? I didn't know there was one out here.
There's one in the South Bay, and there's one in Sacramento and Thomas. That's one I've been to a bunch.
Sound like it ain't one out here.
Go ahead,
the only Hooters I've been to was in Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, and it was good.
They do their wings well. They know how to do their wings. Like, so if you ever need a good wing spot and you're near one, like you're trying to choose Wingstop or Buffalo Wild Wings or Hooters, go to Hooters. You might pay a little bit more, but the wings is good.
I ain't never been to Hooters. But yeah, don't know.
And you might see some beautiful women walking around looking like they about to work out with Richard Simmons.
Come on. Wearing leggings.
Yeah. My Hooters had, they had stock. It was in shorts.
Yeah.
But it was a black chick in there, man. She was looking good. A couple of white women.
Yeah, I wasn't even trying to go there that much. Honestly, as my girlfriend at the time liked going to Hooters because she's like, their wings are hella good. They're better than any other places. So that's where we go to get wings. Like, their wings are good enough to where you can go there and just be like, we're going to eat wings tonight. And you get a little fries on the side stuff, but like, you're going to get some good ass wings. That's going to be your meal. Now, like, some of these Wingstop, I felt like that should have been just like the appetizer for what should have been the rest of my meal.
Yeah, Wingstop ain't really that great, man. Those fries are awful. I got a niece and my sister loved the fries. I'm like, what? You just like sugar on it? I don't understand what you love about it.
No, I have a taste for the fries. I like the fries.
There's just sugar on top of they soggy. I'm with Jared. Fries aren't supposed to be soggy. I'm not supposed to use a fork to eat fries. I'm supposed to be able to dip them into ketchup. Not have to pour ketchup on it like I'm some hillbilly hick.
You gotta have a distinct taste.
Yeah, distinct taste for shit.
You person don't like sugar in your grits either.
Nah, it makes sense.
Because you're a big lip southern nigga. Is it free? Do you have to pay for parking at this fair in Las Vegas? I gotta ask Crystal.
Man, who the hell? Do you think one of us has been to a fair in Las Vegas?
I can't remember the last time I went the thing that looks like an eyeball or
the spear. Why you call it the fair? Of course. I heard Vegas is open up. They charge it for parking now. That's gonna be the new thing they're doing.
Okay.
Something.
All right. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right. Well, goddamn, Pedro, keep talking about fees to pay at what fair? What fair are you talking about?
If it ain't, he's talking about the spear, but he said the fair, Jared.
The spear. I didn't say the fair. I said
you did say the fair. He started off saying fair.
He said the fair, nigga.
Oh, you know why? Because I'm looking at the. You're right. Because I am looking at the Arizona Fair this year.
God damn it,
this motherfucker.
Yeah, old man brain kicking in. Hit that magic moment button.
I don't think that old man brain never left.
That man brain came out at birth.
And the funny thing, he gonna sit here and tell you hit the magic moment button. Yeah, you know, I got that old man brain. Go ahead and hit that button.
Pedro was born wearing church shoes with Dr. Scholl's inserts.
Come on.
I was born with church socks on.
Pedro was born with talcum powder already dampened into his moist parts.
Come on. I was born with a cigarette.
born with a cigarette and a goatee.
He was born with a soft package of Paul Miles in his pocket, in his hand.
I was fully clothed when I was born.
Pedro
dress shirt.
Pedro was born with a set of weighted dice in his hand.
Come on. In a tracksuit. Pedro, the first baby that left the hospital with a tracksuit on. A brown tracksuit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that is our show, my friends. That is our show. Hey, remember, send us your best pumpkin spice haiku. You can give multiple entries for a chance to win our, what is it called again? It's the
spirit, emotional support.
So you can win yourself a emotional support T-shirt from comedian Sir Lance Woods. Shout out sponsorship, and the best haiku will be read on the show.
I heard Pedro tried taking 40 in the church, saying that was his emotional support 40.